6 lucky numbers to win big lottery jackpot on Friday, the 22nd of August, 2025. Buddhist teachings. Do you ever feel like life is sending you a message, as if a hidden pattern exists just beneath the surface, one that could change your fortune if you only knew how to interpret it? The truth is, luck doesn't just fall from the sky, it rises from within. And this Friday, August 22nd, 2025, is no ordinary day. It represents a rare spiritual opening, a moment when 6 sacred numbers, inspired by timeless Buddhist teachings, align with the universe's energy to unlock doors of abundance and profound clarity. But this is not merely about winning a jackpot. It's about attuning to your inner frequency and letting insight guide your actions. Each number we will explore holds more than financial promise. It offers lessons on intention, mindfulness, and rising above the chaos of modern life. Before we start, please take a moment to support our community. Like this video, subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom, and enable notifications so you never miss an opportunity for spiritual growth. Your first step toward true fortune begins now. Comment below, "I am open to blessings and inner peace." Simply writing these words plants a seed of awakening and shifts your energy toward new possibilities. 1. Number 34. Progress over perfection. Number 34 is more than a digit. It is a quiet teacher. It is a gentle nudge from the universe, wrapped in the wisdom of Buddhist philosophy, whispering that life rewards those who dare to begin, not those who wait endlessly for the perfect moment. So many of us, particularly between the ages of 30 and 65, cling to our dreams like precious heirlooms, waiting for the ideal time, the perfect setup, or the right version of ourselves. We tell ourselves, "Not yet," believing that someday we will feel more confident, equipped, or worthy. But someday is a mirage. Consider Johnson, a brilliant man who dreamed of starting a podcast but delayed for months, fearing it wouldn't be good enough. What finally propelled him forward wasn't a moment of perfection, but a profound exhaustion from waiting. He hit record, not because everything was ready, but because he realized that waiting was a slow form of surrender. With that first imperfect step, his path began to unfold. The power of 34 lies in its composition. 3, the number of creativity, heart, and self-expression. And 4, the number of structure, foundation, and steady action. Together, they remind us that creative progress doesn't require a flawless plan. It requires genuine steps grounded in intention. This reflects the Buddhist principle, "Be here, not perfect." The Buddha's life demonstrated that enlightenment isn't found in a silent cave, but often begins amidst the noise of daily existence. He didn't wait for ideal conditions to teach. He practiced the middle way, a life of balance, not extremes. The message is clear. Your starting point doesn't need to be flawless. It only needs to be honest. Whether it's writing a long-awaited book, beginning a healing journey, or speaking your truth, number 34 urges you not to postpone your life. Clarity is a gift that blooms after you begin, not before. What you believe you lack will often appear once you are in motion. So, pause and ask yourself gently, what have I been waiting to start because I feel I'm not enough yet? Now, take a breath and affirm with conviction, I move forward with presence, not perfection. These words are a loving command to yourself to enroll in that course, even if you're afraid, to start the conversation, even if your voice trembles, and to take a step even when the path ahead is not fully clear. Like the lotus flower that emerges from the mud, your progress doesn't have to be pretty to be profound. Number 34 may not earn you applause, but it will walk beside you when you finally decide to begin. As Zen Master Shunryu Suzuki said, "You are perfect just as you are, and you can use a little improvement." This paradox reveals the essence of genuine growth. It honors who you are now while inviting your next step. Don't wait to be fearless, be faithful. Don't wait for perfection, bring your presence. In this life, motion is liberation, and your willingness to begin is already a victory. 2. Number 3. The creative rebirth. Number 3, representing creative rebirth, is more than a lucky digit. It is a reminder that joy, expression, and authenticity are not luxuries, but necessities for the spirit. After every ending, whether the close of a chapter or the loss of a dream, something quietly stirs within us. It's not a demand, but a gentle whisper, a soft pull toward what makes us feel alive. This is the magic of number 3. It symbolizes the return of life, not merely as survival, but as vibrant, colorful expression. Thomas, once a young artist brimming with creativity, slowly traded his paints for spreadsheets. Life became serious. Someday, he promised himself, I'll get back to it. But someday never arrived. One afternoon, while sifting through old memories, he rediscovered his sketchbooks. Without overthinking it, he picked up a pen. That small act reopened a door inside him. One sketch led to another, and one evening of drawing turned into weeks of painting, not for an audience, but for the simple joy of feeling alive again. That is the essence of number 3, joy, rebirth, and the freedom to express yourself without justification. Spiritually, the number 3 signifies the harmony of mind, body, and heart. In Buddhism, this corresponds to the threefold training: right thought, right speech, and right action. These are not restrictive rules, but a pathway back to your true self, a way to reconnect with who you are when you are not trying to impress or survive. How often do we silence our inner voice or bury our creativity in the name of being realistic or responsible? But what if joy isn't a distraction, but a spiritual practice? What if it is your duty to make space for laughter, play, and the parts of you that once dreamed without limits? So, let me ask you, is there a part of you waiting to be expressed again? A song unsung, a story untold, a gift unused. Say this aloud with me: I choose playful courage and sacred balance. Let that be your vow today. You don't need to be loud, but you must be authentic. Start small, draw something, write a poem, sing in the shower, speak up when your heart prompts you. When you honor your joy, you aren't just lucky, you are whole. And that is the greatest jackpot of all. 3. Number 37. The Path of Awakening. Let me speak to you, heart to heart, about a number that holds more than the promise of luck. It extends an invitation to awaken. The number 37 is not just a fortunate number for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. It is a quiet prompt from the universe, or perhaps your own inner wisdom, asking, are you truly awake to your life, or are you just moving through it? The digits 3 and 7 together symbolize creativity and spiritual insight. 3 represents the harmony of mind, body, and spirit, while 7 whispers of deep reflection, intuition, and inner peace. Combined as 37, they form a path not to quick riches, but to profound inner awakening. Consider Jack, a man who seemingly had it all: success, stability, and security. Yet one morning, sitting in his car before a meeting, he felt nothing. Not sadness or anxiety, but a blank, tired fog. He later reflected, I wasn't unhappy, I was unawake. Perhaps you have felt this too, a sense that while everything appears fine on the outside, something inside yearns for more. That same week, Jack discovered a teaching on the 37 factors of enlightenment from Buddhist scripture. He didn't memorize them all, but one phrase resonated deeply: awakening through awareness. He started small, with just 10 quiet minutes of breathing each morning. No agenda, no fixing, just being. Gradually, the fog began to lift. His world didn't change, but he did. He started responding instead of reacting. He noticed beauty in small moments. He smiled, not because he was supposed to, but because he genuinely felt it. The Buddha taught, as a flower does not pick and choose the bees that come to it, so the awakened mind remains open to all experiences. This is the invitation of 37, not to chase something new, but to return to what is already within you. The 37 factors of enlightenment, mindfulness, energy, joy, calm, and presence are not abstract concepts, but lived experiences. You don't need to master them today. You only need to begin with one. Perhaps, like Jack, you can pause for a few minutes each morning. Perhaps you can simply notice your breath moving without effort. Or maybe you can allow yourself to truly feel the warmth of the sun or the comfort of silence. What part of you has been put to sleep just to get through the daily grind? Is it your wonder, your creativity, your sense of connection? Ask yourself this with curiosity, not guilt. The most silent suffering occurs when we appear awake on the outside but feel numb on the inside. This is your chance to change that, not by doing more, but by doing less. By remembering more deeply who you already are. Say this with me. I choose presence over performance. I awaken one breath at a time. Let it settle into your being. Let it remind you that you don't have to chase enlightenment. You only have to remember that it is possible. If the number 37 is calling to you, perhaps you are already on the path not toward a lottery jackpot, but towards something far richer, your own awakened life. If you've made it this far, you are aligning yourself with powerful energies of abundance. These 6 lucky numbers for Friday, the 22nd of August, 2025, are not about chance. They are guided by timeless Buddhist wisdom. Comment "Lucky Path" below to affirm your readiness to receive blessings and fortune. Stay with us, as more insight awaits to help you win big and live with purpose. 4. Number 10. The sacred threshold of new beginnings. The number 10 holds a unique power, not only in spiritual traditions, but also in the quiet transitions of our lives. It represents the gentle threshold between who we were and who we are becoming. In Buddhist teachings, and echoed in our own experiences, we learn that true growth often starts not with a loud declaration, but with a quiet ending. Consider Sarah, who dedicated 6 heartfelt years to a wellness business that once filled her with purpose. Over time, that joy faded into fatigue, and her clarity became clouded with confusion. She held on tightly, because letting go of something built with love can feel like losing a piece of yourself. One morning, as she journaled at sunrise, a message arose from within. This season is complete. This realization was not a sign of failure, but a signal of her evolution. With grace, she stepped away and discovered a new path in teaching that brought her a deeper sense of meaning. This is the wisdom of number 10. The 1 signifies a new beginning, fresh intention, and the courage to take the first step. The 0 symbolizes wholeness, the open space of infinite potential, and the spiritual pause that allows something new to emerge. Together, they represent conscious transformation. Buddhism teaches us about anicca, the truth of impermanence. All things change, and our peace comes from flowing with this change rather than resisting it. When something in your life starts to feel heavy or disconnected, it may not be a failure, it may simply mean you have outgrown that chapter. Just as a lotus blooms only after releasing its roots from the mud, you too must honor what is ending to welcome what is next. Ask yourself, without fear or blame, what part of my life is asking to be released with love? It could be a routine, a job, a relationship, or an old way of thinking. When you can answer this with compassion, you will find a new door quietly opening. Say this with sincerity and courage. I honor what has ended, and I trust what is beginning. The energy of number 10 does not push or shout. It simply invites you to step forward with grace, knowing that by lovingly closing one chapter, you create the space for a new, more meaningful one to unfold. 5. Number 18. Let go to grow. Number 18 is more than a lucky number. It carries a profound energy, a call from the universe to release what weighs you down so you can step into your true path. It is like a quiet friend, whispering, "You don't have to carry all of that anymore." Letting go is not about giving up. It's about making space for something better. There is a Buddhist story about a young monk traveling with his teacher. At a riverbank, they encountered a woman struggling to cross. The young monk, despite his vows to avoid physical contact with women, carried her to the other side. Hours later, the elder monk scolded him. "Why did you touch that woman?" The young monk replied, "I left her at the river's edge. It seems you are still carrying her." This is the lesson of number 18. Are you still carrying something you should have put down long ago? Perhaps it's a grudge, a fear, or a relationship that no longer nurtures your spirit. Like Linda, who remained in an empty relationship out of a sense of duty, we sometimes confuse endurance with strength. But true strength lies in knowing when to let go. When Linda embraced the idea that letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom, she chose peace over pain. She didn't burn bridges, she built a new path. Her life, instead of falling apart, began to unfold in beautiful, unexpected ways. The digits in 18 carry a message. The 1 urges you to take personal responsibility for your peace, while the 8 reflects the karmic flow of past choices. Together, they ask, are you ready to free yourself from what no longer serves your spirit? As the Buddha taught, you only lose what you cling to. What are you clinging to? An old identity? A belief that no longer fits? A definition of success that doesn't bring you joy? Be honest with yourself. Acknowledge it with compassion, not judgment. Then, say this with intention. I release what no longer serves me and make space for peace. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is freedom. You are not meant to be weighed down by the past. You are meant to transform, like a lotus rising from muddy water. Today, let go not with fear, but with faith. Let go not in defeat, but in devotion to your own growth. Number 18 is your reminder. You are allowed to move on. You are allowed to bloom. 6. Number 28, the silent builder of wealth. Imagine holding a lottery ticket, not just for money, but for a deeper kind of fortune, one that grows quietly, like roots spreading deep beneath the soil. I want to speak to you heart to heart about the power of number 28, which I call the silent builder of wealth. This isn't about sudden riches or flashy jackpots. It's about the kind of wealth that accumulates in silence, nourished by consistency, compassion, and unseen devotion. Let me share a story. Emma, a gentle woman in her 40s, ran a small cafe in a sleepy coastal town. She had no flashy signs or social media campaigns. She simply showed up every day before sunrise to bake, to listen, and to remember her customers' favorite orders. Her cafe became a sanctuary, not because it was trendy, but because it was genuine. Years later, a travel blogger stumbled upon her cafe and wrote a heartfelt review. Overnight, Emma became famous. But her success didn't come from that one blog post. It was built day by day, in the quiet hours when no one was watching. This is the lesson of number 28. The 2 represents harmony and emotional connection, walking with people, not ahead of them. The 8 symbolizes karma, the law of cause and effect, where you eventually harvest what you have planted. Together, they speak of wealth that grows from relationships, discipline, and right action. The Buddha taught, "With our thoughts, we make the world." Zen wisdom reminds us, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. What does this mean for you? It means that true growth and abundance are found in the everyday effort, the humble work, and the care you give without needing applause. Can you identify an area in your life where you are quietly showing up, even when no one notices? A dream you are nurturing in private, a family you support behind the scenes, a healing journey that only you can see. Number 28 invites you to trust that process. In a world that chases quick wins, this number is a gentle reminder that real fortune is built slowly. You may not see the results yet, but that doesn't mean the seeds are not growing. So ask yourself, where in my life am I being called to keep going, to show up, and to give my best, even when no one is clapping? That is where your true lottery ticket lies. And in the wisdom of number 28, you are already winning. By watching this far, you are inviting good karma and opening the door to unexpected blessings. The numbers we've shared are grounded in intention, not just luck. Comment "Karma of Wealth" below to affirm your trust in this journey. You have prepared your heart and mind for true abundance. The journey of wisdom, rituals for real wealth. True wealth doesn't begin with a number in your bank account. It begins with the way you live each day. It's in your breath, your footsteps, and the kindness you offer to others. In the Buddhist tradition, wealth isn't measured by what you own, but by how you live by avoiding harm, doing good, and keeping your heart at peace. These 5 simple practices are not superstitions. They are small, sacred acts of mindfulness meant to help you return to stillness, gain clarity, and feel a sense of abundance in the here and now. Each one is an invitation to pause, look within, and shift your energy from scarcity to a quiet sense of enough. Number 1. Letting go at dawn. At the break of dawn, when the world is still wrapped in a gentle hush and the first light brushes the sky, we are offered a quiet yet powerful invitation, a chance to begin again. This sacred time is not just another morning. It's a subtle moment of transformation, where the burdens of yesterday can be loosened from our shoulders like dew melting under the Sunday. Before we let our minds get hijacked by notifications, headlines, or to-do lists, we can choose a different ritual, one that honors our inner world. As you rise, pause. Close your eyes, take a slow breath that reaches all the way into your belly, and let the words softly rise within you. Today, I let go of what no longer serves me. These words are not about forgetting or erasing the past. They are about unburdening the heart, loosening the grip of regret, resentment, or self-judgment that silently weighs us down. Just as we do not carry yesterday's meals into today's hunger, we must not carry yesterday's heaviness into today's hope. Every sunrise is a doorway, and with each one, life gently asks us, "Are you ready to be free?" This act of letting go is not a grand gesture, it's a quiet return to the present. A Zen saying reminds us, "Let go or be dragged." In today's fast-paced world, where mental clutter is constant and emotional baggage accumulates silently, practicing this simple morning ritual becomes a form of inner wealth. It is your first treasure of the day, the freedom to live unchained from the past. Think of it like clearing space in your home. You're not discarding the memories, only creating room for light, air, and something new to enter. And so, with every breath, you loosen the knots that tie you to stories no longer true, fears that no longer protect, and wounds that no longer define you. In our modern lives, we often chase external success, forgetting that real wealth begins with emotional clarity and spiritual peace. When you start your day with the intention to let go, you're not being passive, you're reclaiming your power. You are saying, "I choose not to be ruled by yesterday's shadows." This subtle shift influences everything: how you speak, how you listen, how you treat others, and how you carry yourself through challenges. You walk into the day not as someone dragging a suitcase of unresolved pain, but as someone light enough to see opportunity, connection, and joy. There is a quiet strength in beginning your morning like this. It's not flashy, but it's profound. In the same way that farmers clear the soil before planting new seeds, we too must clear our hearts to allow something more beautiful to grow. This inner ritual is a form of discipline, not for control, but for compassion for ourselves and for others. And from that space, real wealth blossoms not in the bank, but in our presence, our relationships, and the peace we carry into each moment. As Thich Nhat Hanh wisely said, the present moment is filled with joy and happiness. If you are attentive, you will see it. So let this be your first act of wealth each day, not grasping, not achieving, but simply releasing so that what truly matters can rise with the Sunday. Number 2. Planting intentions, not just seeds. Before we begin anything, whether it's a new day, a project, or even just a conversation, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, what is my true intention? In Buddhist practice, every action carries energy. This energy, known as karma, isn't just about what we do, but how and why we do it. So when we talk about planting seeds, we're not only talking about actions, but also about the intention behind them. It's not enough to simply go through the motions. It's your presence, your sincerity, that transforms a simple act into something sacred. Think about someone cooking a meal. If they do it with love and gratitude, that food carries a deeper nourishment than calories. It feeds the heart. A kind word, when spoken with true sincerity, can plant the seed of trust in someone's soul. This is where real wealth begins, not in material gain, but in how we live our lives with purpose and mindfulness. Real wealth is living with meaning, not just productivity. So ask yourself, are you just moving through tasks, or are you living with purpose? Let me share a story. Long ago, a monk approached the Buddha, troubled and seeking clarity. He asked, "Master, how can I live a meaningful life?" The Buddha led him to a tree and said, "Plant this seed." The monk did so, expecting instant results. Days passed, and nothing happened. Frustrated, he returned. Buddha smiled and said, "You planted the seed, but you forgot to water it with care, patience, and intention. A seed grows not only with soil, but with the love we give it each day." This story reminds us that our actions, like seeds, must be nurtured with right intention if we hope to see them grow into something meaningful. So now, ask yourself, what kind of seeds are you planting each day? Are they guided by love, compassion, and purpose, or are they rushed, mechanical, and empty? The answer can reshape your path. By learning to act with mindful intention, we create a life filled with deeper connections, peace, and joy, not just achievements. The lesson here is simple yet powerful. Plant your intentions wisely, because they become the garden of your life. Number 3. 3-minute walking meditation. Let's take a deep breath together, right here, right now. If your day has been busy, stressful, or even just a bit dull, this simple practice I'm about to share can open a door inside you, a door to real wealth. Not the kind you keep in a bank account, but the kind you carry within you. It's called the 3-minute walking meditation, and trust me, you don't need a temple, a mountain, or even a quiet garden to practice it. You just need your body, your breath, and a small space to walk, maybe your hallway, your backyard, or even your office. Stand up gently, place your feet flat on the ground, feel the earth beneath you, and as you take your first step, say silently to yourself, "I am walking. I am alive. I am enough." With each slow step, feel the contact of your foot touching the ground, and allow that awareness to deepen. Don't worry about where you're going. In fact, the beauty of this practice is that you're not walking to somewhere, you're walking with yourself in this very moment. When was the last time you walked without thinking of your destination? No rushing, no planning, no calculating the next move, just you, the movement, and the breath. Most of us spend our lives hurrying from one task to another, chasing after goals, or escaping from worries. But what if you could find peace not by getting more done, but by being fully present as you move? The Buddha once said, "Peace comes from within, do not seek it without." This walking meditation is a way of returning to that peace, of letting each step be a gentle bow to life itself. It's not about effort, it's about awareness. When you walk like this, you're training your mind to be here, not lost in the past or racing into the future. And that, my friend, is a form of freedom, a treasure, a kind of real wealth. Think about it. Isn't true wealth having the ability to enjoy this moment without needing anything more? Isn't it a kind of success to be able to say, right now I am enough? Imagine a world where you could carry this inner calm into your daily life, into traffic, into meetings, into conversations. How would your relationships change if you brought this sense of presence with you? How would your stress levels drop if, just for 3 minutes a day, you gave yourself permission to just walk? This is a practice of soft power, of inner strength. You're not avoiding the world, you're grounding yourself in it. Thich Nhat Hanh, the beloved Zen master, once said, "Walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet." Each step can be a gesture of love, not just toward the ground, but toward your own life. So, I invite you, try it now or later today. Set a timer for 3 minutes, stand with intention, and take each step like it matters. Because it does. You matter. Your peace matters. And this moment, right now, is a perfect place to begin. So tell me, when was the last time you felt truly present? Not just physically in a space, but emotionally and spiritually alive in it. How might your life shift if you began to treat your every step as a gift rather than a chore? Let this question walk with you today. If this practice touched something in you, leave a comment with just one word: enough. Let's remind each other that in this moment, we are already whole. Number 4. Evening Gratitude Journal. As the day comes to a close and the noise of the world begins to soften, there is a quiet yet powerful ritual that can gently guide us toward inner peace and real wealth: keeping an evening gratitude journal. In the simplicity of this act lies a profound transformation. Just before bed, take a few moments to reflect and write down 3 things you are grateful for. They need not be grand or extraordinary. Perhaps someone offered you a kind word, or your tea was perfectly warm, or you found patience in a moment that could have turned into frustration. These small acknowledgements are seeds of real abundance. Gratitude, in its purest form, is a soft rebellion against the ceaseless desire for more. When we pause to recognize what is already good, what is already present, we begin to rewire our hearts to see life not through the lens of lack, but through the eyes of contentment. This shift is not just psychological, it is deeply spiritual. As the Buddha said, "Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little, and if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die." So, let us all be thankful. In modern life, where comparison is a constant companion and ambition is often mistaken for happiness, we are trained to chase rather than cherish. But true wealth isn't measured in how much you own. It's measured in how deeply you appreciate what you already have. This is why gratitude is not just an emotion. It is a form of wisdom. It teaches us to return to ourselves, to our breath, to the here and now. Each night, when you write in your gratitude journal, you're not just listing nice things, you are training your mind to seek beauty, your heart to soften, and your soul to remember what truly matters. In this way, the journal becomes more than paper and pen. It becomes a mirror, reflecting the quiet treasures of your life. It's often said, "He who knows he has enough is rich." This ancient Taoist wisdom aligns perfectly with the Buddhist path. When we practice gratitude, we gently untie ourselves from the bonds of dissatisfaction. We stop feeding the hungry ghost of never enough and instead nourish the contented spirit of this is good. Over time, this practice builds resilience. On hard days, your journal becomes a well you can draw strength from, reminding you that even in the midst of struggle, there is still good. For those between the ages of 30 to 65, this practice is especially vital. These are often the years of great responsibility: work, family, aging parents, health concerns. It is easy to become overwhelmed, to feel as if life is slipping by too fast. But when we anchor ourselves each evening in gratitude, we slow time. We reclaim our evenings not just as a time for rest, but as a sacred closing ceremony to each day. So tonight and every night, give yourself this gentle gift. Write down what warmed your heart, what made you smile, what reminded you that life, in its quiet and ordinary ways, is already whole. It brings us back home to the richness that has always been here, waiting for us to notice. And that, truly, is real wealth. Number 5. Giving without holding on. Let's talk about giving, not the kind that's calculated or done out of guilt, but the kind that flows from a heart that's full. When you give, don't hold on to the identity of being the giver. Let go of the idea that you're doing something noble or that you deserve praise. True giving comes without clinging to the outcome, to the recognition, or even to the person you're helping. This might sound unusual in a world that teaches us to measure value by what we get in return, but the deepest wealth doesn't come from receiving, it comes from sharing what already overflows in your spirit. Think about it: a smile given freely, a meal shared without fanfare, or a few kind words offered to someone going through a hard time. These simple actions may seem small, but when they come from the heart, they ripple out far beyond what you can see. They enrich not only the receiver, but also your own soul, connecting you to something far greater than yourself. There's a beautiful story from the Buddhist tradition about a poor woman who had nothing but a single piece of cloth to her name. One day, she heard that the Buddha was accepting offerings for a great act of merit. She saw people giving gold, food, and fine garments, and her heart ached because she had nothing of material value to offer. But then she realized she did have something. She took that small cloth, tore it in half, and gave one part with all the joy and love she had inside her. The Buddha accepted it with deep gratitude, saying that her offering was equal, if not greater, than the grand gifts others had given, because it was given without hesitation and with a heart free of pride or fear. That's what it means to give without holding on, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. So, ask yourself, when you give, whether it's your time, your energy, or your presence, are you expecting something in return? Are you secretly hoping for thanks, recognition, or even a sense of superiority? And what would happen if you gave simply because it feels good, because you can, and because the world needs more light, not more labels? This is the ritual of real wealth, giving from a place of joy, not judgment, from abundance, not attachment. And when we do that, we stop seeing generosity as a transaction and start seeing it as a natural extension of our inner peace. If your hands are open to give, they are also open to receive, not necessarily in the way you expect, but in ways that nourish the heart. Sometimes the reward isn't something you can touch. Sometimes it's the peace that settles in your chest, the quiet smile that stays with you, or the way your spirit lifts after helping someone in silence. It's in those moments that we realize we are not separate from others. Their joy is our joy, their relief, our relief. And when we give without needing to be the giver, we step out of our small self and into the vastness of compassion. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Give freely, let go of the ego, and trust that every sincere act of generosity creates invisible threads of connection that hold this world together. Don't wait until you have more. Don't wait until you're asked. Start where you are, with what you have, and give like your heart is already full because, in truth, it is. And there you have it, 6 numbers, not just for fortune, but for awakening. Whether or not they lead you to a jackpot this Thursday, June 5th, 2025, their real gift is the insight they carry. Because true luck isn't just about winning, it's about aligning your heart, your actions, and your energy with wisdom. If today's message spoke to you, help us share this light. Please like this video, share it with someone who could use a little clarity, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of spiritual insight and mindful living. May your path be steady, your mind clear, and your spirit open to the quiet blessings all around you. Until next time, walk gently and stay true to the journey.